Imagine a day when the sky is filled with thousands of meteorites from another world raining down on our planet. Most of them are just rocks, but one of them is different, a strange, glowing tree that's made up of alien DNA. As this tree starts to grow, it begins to change the air, water, and soil around it, creating an environment that's perfect for the aliens who sent it, but deadly for humans. Our story begins on a typical evening in a small, quiet town. A family is gathered around the dinner table, laughing and chatting, but suddenly a loud explosion rocks their house, and a massive object crashes to the ground just outside. The family's happiness turns to horror as the air around them becomes toxic, making it impossible to breathe. Within minutes, every member of the family is dead, along with hundreds of others in the town. Meanwhile, in a laboratory on the other side of the country, Dr. Lauren is watching the news on TV. She's a renowned scientist who has spent her entire career studying life beyond Earth. She's won the Nobel Prize in Science and has written several books on the subject. As she watches the news, she learns about the strange meteorite that has crashed in the small town, killing over 1,000 people. Dr. Lauren was taken aback when a group of soldiers arrived at her doorstep, informing her that the government had requested her expertise to investigate a mysterious explosion in a small town. As a renowned scientist, she had agreed to help and soon found herself at an army site where she met another scientist, David. Army Colonel Emmerich briefed them on the situation, explaining that a deadly gas had spread throughout the town, killing everyone in its path. The strange part was that it all seemed to be connected to a meteorite that had crashed in the town. The area had been sealed off, and the colonel warned them that they would need to wear special safety suits to venture inside. As they drove to the crash site, Lauren and David were both on high alert. When they arrived, they were surprised to find that the meteorite was nowhere to be seen. David was baffled, wondering how it could have vanished into thin air. But Lauren's attention was drawn to a small, unusual plant growing in the exact spot where the meteorite had crashed. She felt an inexplicable attraction to the plant, and as soon as she returned home, she began searching for it online. Lauren had never seen a plant like it before, and her research led her to a shocking discovery. A similar incident had occurred in a Russian town a few years ago, where a meteorite had crashed, killing everyone in its path. The Russian authorities had covered up the incident, but Lauren had managed to uncover the truth. What's more, a similar strange plant had been found at the Russian crash site, but it was destroyed by the Russian army. Back in the lab, doctors were conducting autopsies on the bodies of the people who had died in the recent town incident. The results were shocking. The bodies were drying up, but their skin remained intact. When the doctors made an incision in the chest, a strange, shiny liquid oozed out, only to retract back into the body after a few moments. It was as if the bodies were undergoing some kind of transformation. Suddenly, one of the bodies sat up, sending shockwaves through the lab. The doctors and scientists were stunned, trying to communicate with the reanimated corpse. But the man just sat there, silent and still, without reacting to his surroundings. The doctors were baffled as the man's pulse had stopped and his body was cold to the touch, a clear contradiction to human physiology. Pandemonium broke out in the hospital as the news spread like wildfire. It soon emerged that 50 more bodies in the mortuary had also risen from the dead, sparking widespread panic and chaos. The incident was no longer contained, and the news spread globally, leaving people wondering if the end of the world was near. As the world struggled to comprehend the implications of the reanimated corpses, experts and specialists were summoned from all corners to investigate the phenomenon. Meanwhile, the 50 individuals who had risen from the dead remained eerily silent, showing no signs of life or reaction. A high-level meeting was convened, where a prominent leader grilled her team of scientists for answers. "We had 1,300 fatalities in the town, but why did only 50 of them come back to life?" she demanded. The doctors explained that the 50 individuals who had revived were those who were closest to the meteorite when it crashed, and as a result, they had traces of the meteorite's material in their bodies. These traces, the scientists revealed, were altering the DNA structure of the reanimated individuals, causing their heartbeats to stop and their bodies to turn cold. The research suggested that they had transformed into a new alien-like life form, distinct from humanity. Suddenly, the 50 reanimated bodies turned in unison, facing the same direction, as if drawn by some unseen force. The implications were dire, and an emergency meeting was called at the White House to address the crisis. The president was briefed on the situation, and the experts presented their findings. "These individuals are no longer human," they warned. "Their DNA has been rewritten, their brains are no longer functioning, and their bodies are cold and lifeless. They have become a new alien life form, and we believe it's a result of the extraterrestrial entity that arrived on Earth via the meteorite." The conclusion was clear. The only way to stop the alien life form from destroying the planet was to eliminate the reanimated bodies. Despite the president's reluctance to take action, Lauren and her team were determined to uncover the truth behind the mysterious plant and its connection to the reanimated bodies. As they delved deeper into the mystery, Lauren found herself reminiscing about a pivotal day in her childhood, when her father had taken her on a secret trip that had changed her life forever. Meanwhile, efforts to communicate with the reanimated individuals in the government facility were proving fruitless. Lauren tried to talk to a young girl, but the child remained unresponsive. That was when Lauren received a mysterious call, and her phone's wallpaper caught her attention. It was a photo of the same alien plant she had discovered earlier. The girl's reaction was immediate, snatching the phone from Lauren's hand. Lauren quickly filled Emmerich in on the details, suspecting that the plant was the key to understanding the reanimated body's behavior. David observed that the bodies were consistently facing the direction of the meteorite crash site, and it soon became clear that the plant had grown into a massive tree in an alarmingly short period of time. The news was shocking. How could a plant grow so rapidly, and what was its connection to the reanimated bodies? Moreover, the tree was altering the environment around it, making it impossible for humans to breathe. The team was stunned, struggling to comprehend the implications of this alien entity's presence on Earth. Lauren convinced the team to bring one of the reanimated bodies near the tree, hoping to uncover the link between the two. The man sat motionless for a while, then suddenly regained consciousness. He looked at his own body with a mixture of fascination and confusion, as if experiencing human physicality for the first time. "I've finally found my suitable environment," he declared. Lauren held a press conference to share the team's findings with the world. "Just as our planet's trees and plants emit oxygen for us to survive, this alien tree is emitting an air that transforms the surrounding environment," she explained. "It's creating an environment suitable for the aliens, but toxic to humans." The implications were dire. Every wormhole in the solar system had been detected, indicating an alien attack. The extraterrestrial entities were modifying the Earth to suit their needs, making it uninhabitable for humans. The only option was for humanity to launch a counterattack to reclaim their planet. Lauren was at home when her father arrived to visit her. As they sat down to talk, it became clear that Lauren had always been a private person, preferring to focus on her research rather than engaging with others. Her father revealed that Lauren's mother had passed away under mysterious circumstances when Lauren was just a child, and that the tragedy had changed their relationship forever. "I don't know what happened to you after that, but you became like this," her father said, his voice tinged with sadness. After her father left, Lauren received an unexpected summons from the military. They wanted to speak with her alone, and she was required to report immediately. Lauren arrived at the military facility, where she was greeted by the alien entity that had taken over the man's body. The alien's piercing gaze seemed to bore into Lauren's soul as it began to speak. "Who are you?" Lauren asked, her voice steady despite the alien's unsettling presence. "We are an alien civilization from a distant planet," the alien replied. "Our home planet was destroyed, and we have been searching for a new habitable world for decades. We received signals from a human, known to us as Supernova 94, who provided us with the coordinates of Earth and shared information about human biology and the planet's atmosphere. This knowledge allowed us to discover how to modify the environment to suit our needs." As Lauren and the alien continued their conversation, David snuck up to the alien tree and began cutting samples from it. The alien's eyes flashed with anger, and it warned Lauren to get everyone away from the tree immediately. But Lauren stood firm, declaring that humans would do whatever it took to save their planet, even if it meant destroying the tree that was altering their environment. The alien sneered, revealing that it had come fully prepared and possessed abilities beyond human imagination. With a flicker of its eyes, the alien took control of David's mind, and he began to remove his helmet, exposing himself to the toxic air. The other soldiers followed suit, and soon they were all dying. The remaining soldiers attempted to shoot David, but a strange sound emitted from the alien, putting everyone's minds under its control. The alien manipulated the soldiers, forcing them to turn their guns on each other. Chaos erupted, and the military launched a full-scale attack on the tree. But just as they thought they had it cornered, a shimmering shield formed around the tree, protecting it from destruction. As the attack failed, news began to pour in from around the world. Strange sounds were echoing through the skies, and vibrations were shaking the earth. The environment was changing at an alarming rate, and crops and vegetables were withering away. The world was on the brink of collapse, and Lauren knew it. Yet, as she wandered alone through the desolate landscape, she felt a strange sense of liberation. It was as if she had been freed from the burdens of humanity's fate. She approached the alien tree, now grown to monstrous size, and the alien spoke to her once more. "The environment is changing rapidly," it said, its voice like a gentle breeze. "But do not worry, Lauren. You will soon be free from the constraints of your humanity." As Lauren stood before the alien tree, she felt the vibrations of the earth beneath her feet. The alien's eyes seemed to bore into her soul as it revealed a shocking truth. "The person who helped us is none other than Supernova 94, it said, its voice dripping with an otherworldly intensity. "And that person is you, Lauren." Lauren's mind reeled as the alien took her hand, and a flood of memories came rushing back. She remembered the day her father took her to a secret place, a day she had often recalled but never fully understood. Her father, it turned out, worked in the intelligence department, and he had taken her to Area 51 that day. A sudden call had required his presence, and with her mother absent, he had no choice but to bring Lauren along. It was there that they had discovered an alien, which they had promptly killed. But what they had found was astonishing. The alien's brain was enormous, far larger than its body, and it was clear that these beings were incredibly intelligent. Lauren's father had been tasked with keeping the discovery a secret, fearing that the news would spark chaos and panic among the general population. But as Lauren played in the vicinity of the alien's corpse, she had stumbled upon it, and the dying creature had reached out to touch her. In that moment, a physical process had begun, and a portion of the alien's consciousness had been transferred into Lauren. From that day on, Lauren had been changed forever, though she had never fully understood why. Lauren's unique abilities had allowed her to solve complex problems that had stumped even the greatest scientists. Unbeknownst to her, a portion of her body was under the control of the alien consciousness, which had been guiding her actions since childhood. The alien's ultimate goal was to find a new planet for its species after the destruction of its home planet. As Lauren grew older, she became increasingly detached from humanity, focusing solely on her scientific pursuits. She built a high-tech radio, which she used to transmit signals into space, providing the aliens with vital information about Earth. She chose the call sign Supernova 94, unaware of the sinister implications of her actions. In her childhood, Lauren's mother had grown suspicious of her daughter's strange behavior and had discovered her secret radio transmissions. In a desperate attempt to protect her daughter, she had locked Lauren in a room and confiscated her research. But Lauren's alien consciousness had taken control, and she had brutally killed her mother. Lauren's father had been aware of the tragedy, but had kept it a secret to spare his daughter's reputation. However, he had no idea that his daughter was no longer fully human. As Lauren grew older, her memories became increasingly blurred, a result of the alien species' short-term memory. Lauren's habit of staring at the sky was, in reality, a subconscious attempt to reconnect with her alien companions. She had forgotten that she had sent the signals that had invited the aliens to Earth. Now, as the truth finally dawned on her, Lauren broke down in tears. The alien removed her mask, and she was able to breathe easily in the toxic environment, a testament to her half-alien heritage. The consequences of Lauren's actions were catastrophic. Alien eggs began to emerge from the ground, connected to the main alien tree. The environment began to transform, and millions of people perished. Lauren, however, was ecstatic at the thought of her alien companions arriving on Earth. The story ends on a dark note, with the Earth on the brink of destruction, and Lauren welcoming the alien invasion with open arms. Thanks for tuning in, guys.